everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another reading vlog. So I'm actually here from the future to refilm the intro for this vlog for two reasons. One of them being the footage did not come out good. Like, I had my fan going in the background as I was filming and my microphone picked up all of the fan noises, so it just does not sound very pleasant to listen to. And also because I did read a book in this vlog that I am not going to be talking about or including because it is published under Wednesday Books, which is a imprint of St. Martin's Press, and there is currently a boycott against St. Martin's Press for all of the books published under their publisher because of some really horrible racism, especially in like the influencer sphere from an employee under St. Martin's Press. So influencers are currently boycotting St. Martin's Press. This is a marketing boycott versus a consumer boycott. Like, you're allowed to buy the book and read it. Like, I bought 3 copies of this book. You're just not allowed to promote the book or talk about the book in any sort of manner until St. Martin's Press meets the very reasonable demands of this boycott. So I will be including more information down below about the boycott because I can't do as good of a job of explaining everything about this boycott as other people have, so I will include all of the resources for this boycott down below. But yeah, so that's why you will see that I somewhat mention a book that I read, but I censored out the name because I don't want to talk about the book or promote it in any sort of way. But yeah, so I just wanted to interject really quick at the beginning of this vlog to mention that. But now let's move on to my reading plans for this vlog. So in this vlog I am going to be reading Heartstopper Volume 5 by Alice Oseman. I will not be sharing my thoughts on this book yet because I'm trying to keep the consistency for this vlog, so I will be reading Heartstopper Volume 5. And I also do have some things that I want to share with you guys that I got for Christmas from my boyfriend. The first one being this absolutely stunning book nook. It's like a little garden house situation. I don't know, can you see it? Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's a little garden house with a little like chair and like little gardening tools and little flowers and stuff, and it is so cute. This looks a little complicated to build, so that's gonna be fun figuring out how to put this together. And I also don't know where I'm going to put it because I don't necessarily have space on my shelves right now, but that's a problem for another day. But yeah, so my boyfriend got me this absolutely stunning book nook, and then he also got me, oh my god, it's so heavy, the original manuscript of The Picture of Dorian Gray from, what's it called, SP Books. Like, they make these giant like coffee table books with manuscripts of classics, and I saw that they had one for The Picture of Dorian Gray, and I was like, I absolutely need this in my life. So my boyfriend got it for me. It's literally huge, like, for scale. This is Heartstopper for scale. Like, it is massive and it is so heavy, but it's so cool. So this is like the actual book, and then it comes with this really cool slip case for it, and then this is the actual book. On the back it has his signature, and then just all throughout it just is like the original manuscript for The Picture of Dorian Gray, and you can see where he like crossed out certain things. And then there's also on some of the pages that you can see like the ink blotting, like ink blots for the pen that he was using. Oh my god, this section is so cool. Like, this entire paragraph at the bottom is like crossed out, and then over here at the top too. It's so difficult to hold this. Here's another really cool page. Like, you can see so many like lines that are crossed out. And it's just so cool. Like, I can't wait to flip through this. It's kind of illegible, to be honest. Like, his handwriting, you really can't understand most of what this says. Like, the cursive handwriting is just very difficult to read, but this is just so cool. Like, this is definitely one of my most prized possessions because it is just so cool. Like, imagine this on a coffee table. Like, it's just gonna look so cool. So I cannot wait to eventually display this on my own coffee table in the future. But yeah, so cool. And then he also got me something that I was not expecting because, like, I've always wanted one of these for the longest time, but I just never bought myself one because I could never find a design that I liked. But he got me a book embosser, and it's so cute because the actual design of the embosser is a little, you cannot see it, but you'll be able to see it in like b-roll footage, but it's a little cat on top of a book, and it says from the library of sixofpagess, which is just so cool. Like, when I opened this, I was like, there's no way, because I've always wanted one of these, but I just never knew what kind of design I wanted and what I wanted to put on it, because I didn't want to put like my government name on it, you know. So the fact that he put it with my YouTube username with a little cat on it, and it's just such a cool gift. So I cannot wait to emboss literally every single book that I own with this. It's just gonna be so much fun. But yeah, so that is it for this refilmed intro for this reading vlog. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw back to me in the past, and I will be back later on in this vlog with some reading updates. So now that I have finished, I am going to move on to my next read, but before I do that, I have a little bit of a book haul to share. So I placed a Waterstones order, and I got another Penguin Little Black Classic. This one is Come Close by Sappho. I absolutely love collecting these Penguin Little Black Classics. I have one for Only Dull People Are Brilliant at Breakfast by Oscar Wilde, and I can't wait to put this one next to it. And then I have another one coming in, also from the same order. It's The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe, because I've never read anything by Edgar Allan Poe. I figured what better way to try out his writing than with like a Penguin Little Black Classic. So yes, this is my second one to add to my collection. And then I'm also adding some Brandon Sanderson to my collection. I currently own Way of Kings and the first three Mistborn books from Mistborn Era 1. Have I read any of them? No. I did try reading Way of Kings. I got like 30% in, which is honestly astounding. And I put it down just because I wasn't in the mood for fantasy at the time, because like it was hurting my brain. I was very overwhelmed. It was an extremely long book, and I was just not feeling it at the moment. But I will eventually be revisiting Stormlight and getting into Mistborn, because I haven't read Mistborn either. But since those are two like pretty long and intimidating series, I figured let's try something similar but different from Brandon Sanderson. Like, it's still in the Cosmere, I believe, but these are standalones, I think. And yeah, so I got Elantris and Warbreaker. I absolutely adore these covers. Like, these UK paperbacks are so stunning, like especially the cover for Elantris is so pretty. Like, I love these white paperbacks so much. And then the one for Warbreaker is also so stunning. And my Mistborn books are also these UK paperbacks, so I can't wait to put all of them together and just have all of these beautiful white books lined up. Like, it's gonna be absolutely stunning. But yes, so I got Elantris and Warbreaker. I believe Elantris was his very first book, if I'm not mistaken, or like one of his first Cosmere books. I don't really know what either of these are about. I only know that my friend Megan is currently reading Elantris. She's like 300 pages in, and she's absolutely loving it, and it's making me want to read it so badly. So this honestly might be one of my first few reads of the new year, because it sounds so good from what my friend Megan has told me about it. And yeah, I'm really excited to read some Brandon Sanderson and hopefully mark one of his books as read, because I want to get into Brandon Sanderson because he has such cool ideas and worlds and magic systems, so I really want to get into his work. So I figured I might start with something a little less intimidating when you compare it to Stormlight or Mistborn. So yeah, I got some Brandon Sanderson. My SD card ran out of storage, so I had to quickly fix that. But as I was saying, the last book that I bought is Nausea by Jean-Paul Sartre. This is the Penguin Modern Classics edition with the beautiful blue spine. I absolutely adore these editions. I want to collect more books in these editions because I just think that all of the blue spines look so stunning when they're all lined up together. But yeah, I don't really know what this book is about. I just know that Throne of Pages read this somewhat recently and she really enjoyed it. But she also had like an existential crisis and was like questioning her entire existence as she was reading it. And I was like, you know what? Sign me up. Am I a little bit scared and a little bit worried about what this will do to my mental well-being? Yeah, but I'm still gonna read it because it just sounds so interesting. I've never really read a book that makes you want to question your entire existence in such a existential way, but I think it just sounds really interesting. And yeah, Throne of Pages, like I said, she enjoyed this one and it gave her an existential crisis. Same with The Stranger by Albert Camus, which is another book that I have. I read it in high school, I believe, for a philosophy class, and I did not like it, but I want to read it again with, like, you know, a older, fresher perspective, because I honestly don't remember anything that happened in that book. I don't even know if I actually read it, to be honest, but it is marked as read on my Goodreads, but I don't remember a single thing from it. But she read this one and The Stranger like back to back, I believe, and had a very interesting reading experience for both of them. So I do want to read both of these books eventually. But yeah, those are all of the books for my little book haul. I did order 2 other books, but they are not here yet. So once those do come in, I'll show you guys. Hopefully they come in this week as I'm still filming this vlog, because I want to be able to show it in this vlog. But if not, then it'll be in my next vlog. But yeah, that is my little book haul. So I am now going to read Heartstopper Volume 5. I am so excited because I just absolutely love these characters. This volume is like 300 something pages, which is honestly crazy because if you look at Volume 5 compared to like Volume 1, the size difference is crazy. Like Volume 1 is like half the size of this, and then Volume 5 is like massive. I'm so happy to have another volume of Heartstopper to read because this series just is so heartwarming and comforting and just so precious. So I am so happy to have another volume in my hands and I cannot wait to read it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get cozy on the couch and read Heartstopper Volume 5. And once I have an update, probably once I finish reading, to be honest. once again, and I have some reading updates. So I did indeed read Heartstopper Volume 5 and I loved it so much. I gave it 5 stars. Is anyone shocked and surprised? Probably not, because I love this series so much, and I just love how deep it goes into some difficult topics and how beautifully it handles them. Like in this one, you're really seeing Charlie struggle with feelings of codependency in his relationship with Nick, and how much he's struggling with the idea of him moving away for university, and just all of the struggles and thoughts and feelings that go into your partner potentially moving away from you and being long distance. And just the way that it handles it is so beautiful, and seeing everyone's relationship with each other is just so sweet. Like they just have such a beautiful bond within this friend group and within their relationships. Like the respective couples just have such beautiful moments and they just have such a beautiful bond. Like I love all of them so much, and there are just so many good discussions. And there's one quote that I really love that I'm going to share with you guys. So it says, "A part of intimacy is trusting someone enough to let go of that control a little, and that can be very difficult sometimes. But it's important to remember that as long as you and Nick trust and respect each other and are listening and communicating with each other, then you're safe and there's nothing to worry about." Like that quote is just so stunning and so beautiful, and I just absolutely adored this volume. I cannot wait for volume 6 to come out, and I'm so upset that it's gonna be the last one, because like what am I supposed to do with my life with no more Heartstopper volumes to look forward to? Like I do have the TV show, but I'm not gonna have any more new content after volume 6, and that's a horrifying prospect, but it's okay. I think I will live. So yeah, that is my Heartstopper update. I did actually read that last year, but this vlog has been a very long process in the making because it's been rough out here. But yeah, so that is my reading update for Heartstopper that I read last year. So let's get into 2024 stuff. So I am currently in the middle of reading Act Your Age, Eve Brown by Talia Hibbert. I am on chapter 9, page 136. I'm almost halfway through. I think I'm like 35-ish% of the way through, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I take a hint to Danny Brown as my first book of 2024, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars because it's just so good. Like Talia Hibbert knows how to write a fun and sexy romance, and I'm so excited to see what she does with this one because I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm loving the grumpy sunshine dynamic, and just the way that Jacob has like obvious feelings towards Eve, but he's like trying to fight those feelings is just so silly. You can tell that he has a crush on her and is obsessed with her, but he's trying so hard to hide it and not doing a very good job of it, and I just absolutely adore that dynamic. So I'm really interested to see what else happens. I really think I'm going to love this one. I feel like this might be my favorite out of the 3 books, potentially. I don't know. So far they've all been 4 stars, so I'm hoping this one will be a 5-star, but I don't know yet. So yes, I'm going to keep on reading Act Your Age, Eve Brown. I might pick up something else. I don't know, like I'm just in such a weird reading mood. Like I want to read audiobooks, but also I want to read physically, but also I don't know what audiobooks I want to read, and I don't know what I want to read right now, so I'm kind of struggling a little bit with that, but it's okay. So the last update that I have for this clip is a little book haul because I simply cannot be stopped. So I mentioned earlier in the vlog that I was waiting for 2 more books to come in from my Waterstones order, and they have arrived. So I have Edgar Allan Poe, The Telltale Heart, another little Penguin Little Black Classics. Penguin Little Black Classics is just so small and so cute, and I'm so excited to read it because I've never read anything by Edgar Allan Poe. So it's gonna be really interesting to see what I think about his writing. I might save this one for like October time because Edgar Allan Poe has like very fall and like October vibes to me. So yeah, I got this, and then I also got Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. This book is massive. It's massive. It's like 900 something pages, but the text on the inside is pretty big, which is kind of encouraging because it's like not microscopic. Like, I don't like when huge books have microscopic text. Like The Way of Kings, opening that book is absolutely horrifying, but this is a little bit more reasonable. It's still extremely long, but yeah, I do hopefully plan on starting this soon. I have a bookmark in it, but ignore that, I haven't started it yet. But I do want to start it soon because Kate Literature's Patreon she's doing a Russian classics read-along throughout the entire year, and the first book of this read-along is Anna Karenina for January, February, and March, I believe. And then after that is Crime and Punishment, which I'm so excited to read. But I want to read this first. Like, I want to be part of the read-along and join everyone in the Discord and talking about this book. So I do want to start this hopefully soon, but I do have like 2 months to read it, so there's really no rush. But I want to maybe start it soon, but also I don't know if I'm in the mood for this at the moment. I don't know. But yeah, so I got that, and then I also... That is not the book that I meant to grab. This is the wrong green book. Give me a second. The book that I meant to grab was A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. This is the prequel for the Hunger Games series. I was hesitant to read this book for the longest time. Like, when it was announced and it came out in, I think, 2020, I was like, why do we need a prequel for President Snow? Like, it just seems very unnecessary. But then people started reading it and they were saying that it was actually really good. And then the movie for it came out sometime last year, and people were saying that the movie was also really good. And like, I want to watch the movie, but I want to read the book first. So I don't know if that's gonna happen at this point, because I need to start reading it soon before it leaves theaters. So yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna actually read this anytime soon, because I do also want to reread the Hunger Games series before I read this. I don't know. I didn't do a very good job of planning my reading around this book and this movie coming out, but it's okay. It's not that serious. So yeah, these are the little books. Not little. These are the books that I acquired, and I am now officially on a book buying ban. Potentially. I'm on like a very loose book buying ban. Like, if there's a book that's coming out that I really want to buy, then I'll buy it. But as of right now, I'm trying to limit the purchasing of books that I do, because I can't keep buying books and not reading them, because I have like over 200 books on my physical TBR. I'm gonna be moving soon. I can't be adding books to my bookshelf. I'm gonna have to eventually relocate. Like, I don't want to deal with any of that. So yeah, I'm now on a book buying ban for the time being. I think I'm gonna go ahead and keep reading Actor Age Eve Brown. I might do the audiobook while I update my reading journal, because I've really been into audiobooks recently. Like, the 2 books I've read so far this year have been audiobooks. So I might pick this up on audio while I update my reading journal. So it has been a hot minute since I have updated this reading vlog, but I do have a couple of reading updates and also a little book haul to share because I cannot be stopped, but also I'm justifying it because I unhauled like 20-ish books, I think, and I decided to buy 4 more, but one of them I already read, so like it's not that bad because I got rid of some books and I'm only bringing in 3 new ones that are unread. So yeah, I bought some books, but also I have a couple of reading updates. So I did read a little bit more of Act Your Age, Eve Brown. I am on chapter 14. I was listening to the audiobook while I was cleaning my room, and I'm really enjoying it still, but like I don't think I really care anymore. Like it's been a while since I have picked up this book. Like it's been, I think, like a week since I last read it, and just I'm not feeling very invested anymore. Like I am gonna finish it because I'm like 50-ish% through, like I'm almost done, so I'm definitely going to be finishing it hopefully before the end of the month, but I'm just like not super invested in this story anymore. And then I also started and finished another book that I did not talk about like at all in this vlog because I just kind of picked it up on a whim. Like I knew I wanted to read it this month because it is part of like a book club and I wanted to be able to watch the live show for this book, so I decided to just pick up randomly An Ember in the Ashes by Saba Tahir because this is the Wyverns and Words book club pick for January, and I had this book on my physical TBR for God knows how long, and it's also on my 2024 TBR, so I decided to, you know, pick it up, see how it goes, and I really enjoyed this one a lot. I gave it 4 stars. It was just so good, and all the characters are so interesting and so complex, like especially Elias. He's like a really complex character and I really enjoyed it, and the whole world is so brutal. Like this is kind of like the YA version of the Poppy War because when I was reading this I was like, how is this YA? Like some of the things that they're talking about in this book and some of the things that they're like showing are like brutal and like really graphic, so I don't know how this is considered YA. Like this is definitely on like the older side of YA, close to like new adult, maybe even like adult. Like if they weren't like 17 and 20 years old, I think this would probably be like an adult book. But yeah, I read this one, really enjoyed it. I'm so excited to read the second book. Like I'm definitely going to pick up the second book very soon because just the way that it ended and just like the things that are gonna happen in the next book is probably gonna be so crazy, and it's gonna be Laya and Elias, like their relationship forming a little bit more hopefully, and they're like on the run, so there's gonna be like, you know, that whole thing, and just I'm so excited. Like this was such a pleasant surprise. Like I was not expecting to pick this book up at all because I just decided to like randomly pick it up. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna read a couple chapters and see how it goes. I was so hooked and I wasn't expecting to love it as much as I did. Like I gave it 4 stars and I'm so excited to continue the series because I can honestly see the other books being potentially like a 5-star. Like I don't know, like this series is just so good and I can't believe that I'm just now getting around to it because this has been like a beloved series for a very long time, but I'm so happy that I finally picked it up because it was so good and I cannot wait to read the next book. So that is my little mini reading update, and now let's get into the book haul. So the first book that I have here is A Curious Beginning by Deanna Raybourn. I actually already read this one, but I wanted to have a physical copy of it because I want to go back and eventually transfer like my Kindle highlights because I was listening to it on audio, also following along a little bit with the ebook on my Kindle, and I enjoyed this book so much. I gave it 4 stars. This was the second book that I read this year, I think. Either like second or third book that I finished this year, and I really enjoyed this one so much. I don't know how you would classify this book because it's like a historical romance, but also there's like a mystery interwoven in it, so it's not like just like a regular like Regency historical romance, but there's also like this mystery element to it. And Veronica and Stoker are just absolutely stunning characters, and Stoker with like his grumpiness and just like everything about Stoker is absolutely stunning. Veronica's also absolutely stunning. She's such a girl boss. I loved her so much, and I loved Stoker so much, and their banter was honestly insane. Like, they have such good banter. Like, I was laughing out loud at so many random moments between them because they just have such good chemistry and such good banter. I enjoyed this so much that I decided to buy the second book because I need to keep reading because I need to see where their relationship goes, because I know it's like an extreme slow burn. It's like 9 books of slow burn, and I don't know if I'm ready for that, but also I am so ready for that because they just have so many so many good moments and such good banter, and I'm just so excited to continue this series. So I'm definitely going to be picking this up in February. I have it on my February TBR. But yeah, so I got the first 2 Veronica Speedwell books, and I will eventually be buying the rest of them, but I kind of want to buy them as I read them. Like, I don't want to buy all 9 books at once because that just seems a little bit crazy. So I started off with the first one, which I already read, and the second one, which is what I need to read next. So yeah, really excited to continue this series. So excited to see this romance develop and all of the mysteries and all of the like crazy adventures that are going on. Like, I'm so excited to continue this series. And then I also got Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. I tried listening to this on audio sometime last year. I listened to like 5 minutes of the audiobook, I think, but I wasn't really vibing with it. Maybe I was in an audiobook mood, maybe I wasn't vibing with the narrator. I don't remember, but I just wasn't vibing with it via audio, and I decided to buy a physical copy because, you know what, why not? So I'm so excited to read this because it honestly seems like it's right up my alley because it's a cozy Regency historical romance situation. Like, it's a Regency historical romance, but there's like fae in it. Like, it's a historical fantasy romance, and it honestly just seems like something I would absolutely adore because I love historical romances, and this has like a fantasy twist to it, and I don't know, I'm so excited to read this one. What's that? Oh my god, the main character name is also Elias? Okay, so we got another Elias main character in this book, but I am so excited to read this one. I've honestly only heard good things. Like, I know so many people absolutely love this book, and I hope that I will be one of those people because it honestly just seems like the perfect book for me. Like, a cozy historical fantasy romance. Like, what more could you ask for? So cannot wait to read this one. And the last book that I got is like a little bit random, kind of. Yeah, I got Romeo and Juliet by Shakespeare, obviously. This is the Barnes & Noble Shakespeare editions. I've been collecting all of these. All the ones that I have so far I've gotten secondhand, but my sister has a 50% off discount at Barnes & Noble, so I was like, you know what, I'll just buy this one new. But yeah, I have been collecting, as I said, all of these editions of Shakespeare's works, and I do eventually want to read all of Shakespeare's works because I did read some of them in high school, but like, I want to read them, you know, for fun now, and I feel like I'll be able to look at them differently and like enjoy them more because I'm reading them because I want to read them, not because I had to read them. And yeah, I think I remember really enjoying Romeo and Juliet back in the day, but I'm excited to give it another go, see how it goes, see how I think about it. And I have another absolutely stunning edition to add to my classics shelf with all of my other Shakespeare books. So yeah, this is my mini little book haul. I don't know what I'm going to do next. I might do some journaling because I have like one spread that I kind of need to finish a little bit, but I don't know, because I don't really want to read Actor H. Eve Brown right now. Like, I'm not really in the mood for that, and I want to save the second Veronica Speedwell book until February. So like, I don't know what I'm gonna do now. I might honestly continue reading Eve Brown just so I can finally finish reading it, before the month ends, but I do also need to start wrapping up this reading vlog soon because this vlog has been going on for like a month at this point. So yeah, I'm going to figure out what I'm going to read. Maybe I will do some journaling just to finish up that little spread that I started yesterday. But yeah, so that is it for this little update. So I am now here to end off this vlog because I have been filming this vlog for a literal eternity. Like, I started filming it at the end of December and it is almost February, so like I need to wrap it up. So I'm going to give a one last reading update, and I'm going to start off with a reading update that I forgot to give in my previous update because this was hiding under my Kindle, so it wasn't in my line of sight. So I read volume 33 of Yona the Dawn. I really enjoyed this one. I gave it, I think, 4 stars. There's a lot of really interesting backstory being introduced, especially in regards to like Suwon. Like, we're getting a lot of backstory for him, and especially in volume 34, which I just finished, we get even more backstory for Suwon and also for Yona. It's really interesting. It's so interesting seeing all of the events of this story kind of falling into place and seeing everything that happened so early on in their lives and how and why it led to the things that are happening in like the present day for them. Like, it's just really interesting seeing all of the backstory and how it's connecting to what is happening to them at the moment. Like, it was really interesting seeing all of that happening. So really enjoyed these 2 volumes. I gave both of them 4 stars. Do I wish we had some more Yona, Hawk, and Dragons moments? Obviously. Like, really didn't get much of that in either of these volumes. It's okay, because I feel like in the later volumes we'll be getting more Yona, Hawk, and Dragons moments, hopefully, because right now we're just getting a lot of backstory and like a lot of setup for what's gonna be transpiring in the later volumes. But yeah, still really love this series a lot. I need to just hurry up and catch up because like I have been reading this series for literal ages at this point, so I just need to hurry up and catch up. And I am almost caught up. I think I have like 6 volumes, either like 5 or 6 more volumes until I'm fully caught up with what is translated in English. So really excited and also really devastated to be caught up because then I'm not gonna have any volumes to look forward to for like a year. But it's okay because I need to catch up with this series. I need to be up to date. So read 2 more volumes of Yona the Dawn, and then I also did a little bit of an unhaul and bookshelf reorganization, and I wanted to make a little shelf for all of my historical romances, like my mass market paperbacks and my Veronica Speedwell books, which I will be acquiring more of to, you know, fill up the rest of that shelf. But I wanted to make a historical romance shelf, and in order to do that, I needed to unhaul to make some space because I'm running out of space for books. Like, it's just getting a little bit ridiculous and a little bit out of hand. So I had to do some unhauling. And honestly, I've been really proud of myself for everything that I have unhauled so far. So the first book that I'm unhauling is Convenience Store Woman by Sayaka Murata. I read this, I think, in 2022. I listened to the audiobook because I was trying to read it physically and I just like wasn't really caring about what was happening. So I was listening to the audiobook just to, you know, get through the story and just like, you know, finish it. And the fact that I'm saying all of that for a book that's less than 200 pages just, you know, goes to show that I didn't really care much about this story. I do really love this like really small paperback with like, you know, the pink spine, and like I really like this cover a lot. Like, it's really cute, but I'm not gonna reread this. And I didn't really like it when I read it, so I'm going to be unhauling. And I'm also going to be unhauling Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. This is a book that I got for free at a book swap, and I don't need a physical copy of a thriller. Like, if I want to read Mexican Gothic, I'll either get the audiobook or the EPUB for it. Like, I don't need to have a physical copy for a thriller. And like, you know, it was free, so like I really don't care that much about getting rid of it because it was free. So yeah. And then I'm also going to be unhauling Legendborn and Bloodmarked by Tracy Dion. I read Legendborn in, is this Legendborn? Yeah, I read Legendborn in I think 2021, I believe. I don't know. I read Legendborn. I gave it 3.5 stars, I think. I thought it was okay. It was kind of confusing, and I just didn't really understand what was happening. Like, I thought it was okay. Like, it wasn't really like the type of story for me because I don't care about Arthurian legends. So like, it just wasn't for me. And then I got Bloodmarked at the same book club that I got Mexican Gothic in, perhaps. I don't know, but then I got Bloodmarked for free. So I was like, you know what? Bloodmarked, it's the second book to Legendborn. It was free, so like, why not? But like, I'm not going to continue the series because I just didn't really care enough about the first book to want to read the second one. And I've had this for like a year and a half at this point, I think. And just in order to read this, I'm gonna have to reread this, and I am not going to do that. So I'm going to be unhauling these 2. And then Somebody's Daughter by Ashley C. Ford is another book that I'm going to be unhauling because I don't think I'm going to read this. I don't really have any interest in reading this anymore. Carval by Stephanie Garber. I'm not going to read this. I've heard only bad things from my friends that have read it, and like, honestly, I don't think I'm going to read this. And then the first 2 Poppy War books. I read the Poppy War, I think, in the same year that I read Bloodmarked, like 2021, I think. I read it and I thought that, again, like, it was okay. I wasn't obsessed with it. I wasn't in love with it. I wasn't really invested in the story, but I still bought the Dragon Republic because I wanted to be a Poppy War girly. Like, you know, I wanted to be one of the girlies that loves the Poppy War, but I'm simply not going to be one of the girlies that loves the Poppy War because in order to read the Dragon Republic, I'm gonna have to read the Poppy War. And am I going to do that? No. So I'm sadly going to be parting ways with these beautiful, stunning white hardcovers. Like, I love these white hardcovers so much. I feel so good on my fantasy shelf. And just like getting rid of these is honestly breaking my heart because they're just so stunning, and especially like with like the Burning God with like the purple. Like, they just look so good together, you know? But I don't think I'm going to continue this series, because if I wanted to continue it, I would have done so by now, and I just haven't. So yeah, the Puppy War is actually annotated. Like, I highlighted and annotated in it. So I don't know what I'm gonna do about that, but I think I'm going to be listing all of these books on my Pango. And then if they don't sell in like a month and a half, then I'm just going to take them probably to some little free libraries, or I'll bring them with me when I move to take them to a used bookstore to get like some credit for it. Like, I don't know, but I think I'm going to list these on my Pango, so I'll link that down below if you're interested in buying any of these books. But yeah, my camera battery is actually dying, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this vlog here. So yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.